What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Moe Edwards. On Let's Talk About It, we talk about whatever I want to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it right here on Let's Talk About It. Politics, relationships, community issues, whatever needs to be addressed, whatever's on your heart. You thought about it, now you can talk about it. What I mean by that is a lot of times we think about things bother us, we have things on our hearts that we want to share, and sometimes the opportunity just doesn't present itself for us to talk about things and talk things out. You know, in different cultures, man, they sit down at the dinner table and at different meetings, and a lot of families just take time to just talk. You know, if you watch a lot of television shows, certain cultures, you know, they'll sit down at the table and say, hey, what's on your mind? You know, the father will ask the wife and the kids. And, you know, they'll talk about what happened at school, and the wife will talk about what happened on the job. And, you know, something might be bothering one of them. And, you know, they'll share the issue at the dinner table. You know, we just don't talk enough. We act out, but we don't talk. So, you know, on Let's Talk About It, I want us to talk things out, you know. So you can go to Let's Talk About It season 01 at yahoo.com. That's Let's Talk About It season 1, that's 0 and 1 um, at yahoo.com. And you can submit questions, inquiries, topics you want me to address. It's totally confidential and anonymous. If you want it to be, if you want me to mention who you are, you can put that in the email as well. So on this one, on this video, the last video I did was titled Dr. Miles Monroe, Dying with the Baton, and I talked about how um, today's leaders don't prepare other leaders to succeed them. Even Dr. Miles Monroe said this years ago that we have a leadership dilemma, and you know we're not preparing successors. So I enjoyed that video. I enjoyed doing it. Um, it's been a long time since I've done videos like this. I enjoy it. I learn from it. I hope you learn from them. Um, I say that I learn from it because a lot of times people respond to my videos and we have dialogue. And it's some pretty sharp people out there. I used to have a show on MySpace TV, and it was called Liberating Truth. And I had Liberating Truth on YouTube. And I was actually studying to be an apologist. So I've been in professional debates. I'm known all over the world for being one of the only Christians that have debated in the pro-black circle. Many of you might know what Sonetta TV is and Debate Talk for You. I debated on both of those forums. I'm very well known and respected. So I haven't been to college, but I'm self-studying. I've learned a lot, man, from people like you. Um, so I don't know what title I'm going to give this video, but I want to talk about homosexuality in general, especially homosexuality in the church. This whole gay lesbian thing has just gotten blown totally out of proportion. It's getting too much media. It's getting too much attention in my book. I mean, again, I've studied the Bible for over 20 years in other forms of history, and homosexuality, um, even incest, has been around since the beginning of time. And today we're treating it like it's a new sin. We're treating homosexuality like it's a new sin or something. The only difference then than now is they're coming together in numbers and in unity, and they're pretty much pushing their agenda and getting things done. Sort of like the Tower of Babel. It wasn't a holy thing or I guess a positive thing, but um, where there's unity, there's power, no matter who it is. And so I think what the real issue is that people are starting to see that and they're getting intimidated. That's just my opinion of it, especially our church leaders. They're getting intimidated because, quite frankly, not just homosexuals, but even when you look at the issue with women in leadership, in the workplace, in the government, and now even in the church, you know, our men are just getting paranoid and intimidated because we haven't, done right. I'm not saying that we've done all wrong, but we've become real cute in Hollywood, and so other people are taking over certain things. The thugs have already taken over our neighborhoods because we done got so cute in Hollywood that there's no um, intimidation factor in the neighborhood, no male presence. So the thugs and the youth have just taken over our neighborhoods, and many of our leaders have moved to the suburbs. Um, and now I think that they feel like the gays are taking over. When you look at Bishop Porter's interview, what did he say? There's a bunch of them walking around with purses and stuff like that. And I think that preacher just got kind of intimidated. He probably felt uncomfortable, so he attacked and they're good at doing that. They're good at getting up on a mic and attacking people, but they don't have, you know, the backbone and the guts to sit down face to face with these brothers and sisters, but especially the brothers, because it was a brother who came up there and said that he was delivered from being a homosexual. And I'm sure many of y'all saw this clip from the 107th, I guess, conference or anniversary or whatever of the Church of God in Christ. I think everybody's seen it by now. But and it goes back to this whole thing with fathering. Everybody wants to be called a spiritual father. That's my father. You're my son. But they're not really fathering. If you were fathering, you would be sitting down with these young men and talking to them face to face. Like, come on, bro. You need to put the purse down. What's going on with you? You are a man. Speak into their life. Give them, some positive input and male encouragement. Stimulate that testosterone that's in them and take that route. Um, Go and take them to do what men do. Go to a game or tell them to go put on some jeans and a jersey or something. Let's go to the game. Let's talk about this. What you missing? Where's the void at? How can I help? Instead of being a coward and yelling and screaming over the mic. We good at doing that, man. Grabbing a mic and talking at people. You're a man. Sit down face to face and talk to them. Get them all together like they used to do back in the day. They pull them aside out on the street, take them to the park or something, sit them down. You know what I mean? Take them in your little cute office in the church, sit them down and talk to them. You know, um, that's what they used to do with us. If one of us was acting a certain way, not necessarily feminine, but however we was acting, if it was out of line, I'm like, come here, man, sit down, let me holler at you. The women used to do it to us too. In my church, they used to be like, son, come here. What is you doing? Especially if you was married. Like, I see you dragging your kids around here. You sharp. The kids looking crazy. Your wife looking like she about to go hang herself. What are you doing? They weren't afraid to sit us down and get in our face and talk to us. And now we done got real cute and like to scream over the pulpit and show out and grandstand. Man, them gay people don't care about that stuff, man. That ain't gonna do nothing to make them mad. you know. And my thing is like Bishop Porter was talking about, yeah, they would walk around with purses on and they'll take advantage of the boys and stuff like. Well, where are the other men? Where are the straight men at? Obviously, these gay men wasn't intimidated of you because they was walking around doing their thing. So what does that say? Who's scared of who? Or who running things really, you know. That's what I look at. Like if I'm the pastor, if I got men in my church and deacons or whatever that can't hold it down, then we need to shut the door. Cause me personally, I ain't afraid. I ain't gotta do it on the, over the pulpit. I'll sit the mic down and walk out there in the audience like what's good? Y'all need to sit down. Put them purses down. I mean, go out the door, something. Or I'll talk to y'all after the service. I mean, I ain't gonna be up in the pulpit hiding and, trying to talk over the mic. I'll get in your face like, man, what's good with y'all? I ain't about to mess with nobody up in here, you know? I mean, I'm a gatekeeper, man. I'm 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 from CCF. We used to walk the streets of Detroit on the east side and go up, walk up to crack houses and knock on the door and lay hands on dope boys and whatever. I mean, like I said, these leaders are too Hollywood, too cute, man. So if the gays take over, then good for them. If we can't stand up, you know. But yeah. So what y'all think about that? Homosexuality in the church. Why are we treating it like it's some new sin anyway? As if that pastor who's and the pastor, this is what tripped me out, and this is what like sparked a lot of the controversy. Is he was like, yeah, y'all walking up in here with purses in your hand and switching. I pray to God make you bleed like a woman out your butt and all of that. I'm like, did he really say that? Like for real? As if he don't have no gay men in his church. There's been gays in church since the beginning. I have never seen so many gay people in one place in my life until I got saved. I didn't see them like that when I was out there in the streets. When I started going to church, that's when I seen them. I mean, if you just want to be real about it, you know. Um, but when he said that, I was like, wow, for real? And my thing is, if there was a bunch of them in there, where'd they come from? You gonna tell me they just came off the street? They belong to them churches. They ain't just like, oh, where we going today, y'all? Let's go to the 107th anniversary of the Church of God in Christ. I mean, unless, it's something that I'm missing. Is that where the gays shop at now? In the church? I mean, I don't know. I could be missing that part of it, but I just don't see where they just choose to just go to a church service. They got gay bars and, I mean, you know, but the Church of God in Christ, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off this video because I'm not going to entertain it too long. But the Church of God in Christ came here to the hotel where I work at. I took a picture with Bishop Blake and uh, Bishop Sheard. They were very humble and cool. But there was two things that my coworkers saw when they were here. That 90% of the people, 90% of the saints were obese. That's number one. And the majority of the men that were working for the conference looked feminine and acting. Those are the two things that stuck out the most. And they weren't wrong. Every other person that walked through there was obese. And the majority of the men that were working those tables and walking around doing this and doing that was flaming. And I couldn't do nothing but because, I'm respected on my job, you know, um, not for my title, but for the way I carry myself. And they were like asking me what was up. And I'm like, man, we have to sit down and talk for a while before I can explain all of this to you. But I was kind of embarrassed. But, you know, we need to quit acting like this is some new sin or this is some new thing. We've been harboring gays in the church for a long time, in the choir, in the kitchen. We've been letting them um, give to our causes, building funds and paying tithes and directing choirs and all that. Now all of a sudden, you know, we want to talk about it. Ain't that just like us though? You know, you got some down low pastors too. I think they're just getting intimidated. The walls is closing in on them. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm really walking light on this video and just putting it out there, see what y'all got to say, and keep it moving.